So this is beautiful Winona, Minnesota.
What are we doing?
We're getting breakfast at Kwik Trip. I'm gonna show John my go-to snack stop. So I brought the big bottle, which I'll have to empty, but I'll put my special mixture in there. And then, yeah, bring back a 6-pack of donuts.
So I thought we were truly just going to get donuts, but apparently there's like secret beverages available at Kwik Trip.
It's just a mixture, makes it look cool.
Sure.
Half strawberry Mountain Dew, half lemonade.
That sounds terrible.
It tastes like strawberry lemonade, but with way too much sugar.
Sure.
A little bit of caffeine.
So why do you love Kwik Trip so much?
The affordability of the donuts, that's the main reason. And then they're also just have the cleanest bathrooms out of all the gas stations.
That's true.
So that's always nice. The employees are really happy. I think they treat their employees right. And then I used to live right across from one. I would walk to it every morning, get a banana for my smoothie, and then, yeah, I just became a regular there. Use the rewards points, good rewards point system.
So at one point, I think you did something called the Tour to Kwik Trip.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah, or the Dumb Ride, Day Up Minnesota, so DUM. That's what I called it, because it was 480 something miles, and I did that in 26 hours. Stopped at 7 different Kwik Trips.
That's incredible. That's the only way you fueled the whole day.
That's the only way I fueled the whole day. Lots of Quickerade, which is no longer made.
Okay.
Lots of bakery muffins, a couple sub sandwiches, and a couple donuts. I wasn't really in the mood for donuts.
Sure.
Lots of muffins. It's like 500 calories in the muffin of a size of my fist. So very calorie dense. First ingredient is sugar. So
a lot of people think of Kwik Trip as just being down in this southeastern corridor, but they're all over the state, or from central Minnesota on down. So where did this ride actually take you that you went on?
So this ride started in the southeast corner of Minnesota on the Iowa border, and I traveled all the way up to the Canadian border in Grand Marais, or not Grand Marais, Grand Portage. So, and that's why it's called the Day Up Minnesota. I stole Trenton's Day Across Minnesota and just doubled the mileage.
Yep.
Did it on a road bike though, no gravel.
Okay. And was this like an out and back trip, or was this just a one shot and somebody came to pick you up?
This was one shot, and I had my wife and my friend, her best friend and mechanic, Zach, following a minivan, or in my big van. And they followed me just to make sure I didn't die. They followed me for a bit. There may have been 1 or 2 moto pacing sessions in there into Grand Marais, ripping 60 miles per hour. But yeah, overall, and Zach also helped ride with me for a little bit near the end. So I wanted to quit a couple times. Out of Hinckley, Minnesota was my darkest spot.
Okay. So we're riding around in Winona, and I have a friend who lives here who refers to this as the Miami of Minnesota. Yep. Is that accurate?
We don't have crazy Florida people, or at least that I haven't met, but we are the warmest town or city in Minnesota, so that's why we call it the Miami. And we're the most southeastern big city in Minnesota. So that's how it got its name. I mean, we have 0 clubs, so I don't know if it's a true Miami vibe, but it's nice and warm down here. I feel like our winters start a little later than most people's winters in Minnesota, and they end earlier as well.
So when you talk about like the climate, right, it's different compared to the rest of the state. How many days are you like, I can't ride outside if I wanted to during the winter? And granted, he moves to Arizona in the winter, so.
When I did live in Minnesota in the winter, there was usually that 1 or 2 super cold, below 0 weeks. I could man up and just ride it, but you know, I love the trainer. Like, I rode the trainer yesterday and it was 70 degrees. So, and it's just easier, but I do love, we have a lot of trails here that are well kept by the local volunteers. So it's easy to get on a fat bike, go ride around. I do get a little scared at night, so when I did have a full-time job, I'd ride in the night, and I swear I'd hear or see stuff. But
yeah, night riding's a different adventure.
And the night riding is, it is a little scary. You see shadows. I probably go way harder than I should because I always feel like a wolf is chasing me, but there's never been a wolf actually chasing me. Besides Arrowhead, where I made a wrong turn, and Ben Doom said there was wolf footprints right behind.
Wait, time out. Did you ride the Arrowhead? Like the Arrowhead fat bike race?
Yep.
Oh, you are a harder bastard than I even knew.
So yeah, that was on-bound cross training in the winter.
What year did you do that?
2022.
Damn.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to talk about, everybody thinks you're like this crazy gravel racer with like goofier tech than Dylan. You rode the Arrowhead 135.
Yep.
People need to Google what that is. It is, a 135-mile fat bike race from International Falls, Minnesota to, what's the name of the casino where it finishes? Literally the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of by Virginia, Minnesota.
Yeah, all snowmobile trail. A lot of years it's 20 to 30 below.
Yeah, when I did it, it was 10 degrees.
Oh, that's like a...
Yeah. Take away my badass card.
We'll give half of it back to you. That's still crazy.
Yeah, the following year that I was gonna do it, it was supposed to be a little colder. I bought like super expensive boots and pogies just to get sick and have to skip it in 2023. So that was, so I did Fat Bike Worlds and I had to pull out and then, skipped Arrowhead completely.
So how much have you done fat bike stuff? Like just those?
No, I've done the low pit. I've won the Fat Bike low pit. What else is there? I had a Fat Bike privateer program actually.
Really?
Yep. So in 2022 and 2023, I was sponsored by Otso, Wolf Tooth, Head, Bird Spokes, and then my massage therapist, and put together my own little privateer program. Bora made some really cool jerseys. It was like the North Star logo, but it was a W instead.
Okay.
And then it said Warks inside of it.
Nice.
So that was that. And yeah, I did pretty much every fat bike race out in Minnesota besides the Berkey.
Okay.
And I won pretty much all of them. Yeah, there was the Frozen Fat Fish, Mora Fat Vasa Lopet, the Lopet, St. Croix 40. So that one I got to use an enlightened equipment, sleeping bag that they custom made for me.
Okay.
Did the Arrowhead.
This is like a full program you rode.
Yeah, this was a full program, 3 months of racing. Can't really, yeah. The only month I didn't race for 12 months was in December. So, not really a mid-season break anywhere. I mean, Minnesota's nice. You can do fat biking, cyclocross, gravel, road, and have 0 months off,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy. And yeah, the fat biking, you know, as most Minnesota people know, seasonal depression becomes a thing. It just is gray, gloomy, and getting out on a fat bike really helps mitigate that, or yeah. So that's.
So do you still do that a lot? Like not racing, but like are you still fat biking a lot in the winter? Or is it mainly that you moved to Arizona now and just...
It's mainly that I moved to Arizona. So this past winter, there was not really any snow in December, so I actually rode my mountain bike in December. And then, or the trainer, again, big Zwift fan. We'll go left here. It's a little kicker. There's a hill climb right there that just goes straight up the bluff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called, well, it's our power line, not the Leadville power line.
Sure. So how different, you know, obviously like a race like Arrowhead, you're pushing into a full day of racing, but these other fat bike races, how did they play to your strengths, and how do they differ aside from the cold and the conditions of what you're doing today?
Yeah, so they're kind of like a gravel race mixed with a crit, as in there's a little bit of drafting, but it's not super beneficial. So it's a lot of just, you know, who has the biggest engine on the day, who can make the smartest moves. A lot of them are on ski trails, which you think they'd want to make ski trails flat, but for some reason they make them super hilly with just dumb kickers. So there's a lot of that separates the group also. And then there's a technical aspect to it, because as people, sometimes there's laps, so the snow will get softer, torn up. You know, a ski trail, you can be bombing down the hill 30, 40 miles per hour. Maybe 40 is an exaggeration. And then you gotta make a sharp turn, and it gets pretty, you know, tire size is also important, not only in gravel racing, but fat biking as well.
So let's say we are going to a gas station, but it's not Kwik Trip, God forbid.
Yeah.
You know, we go out on a 6-hour gravel ride and smash it, and we find that rural gas station in a town of like 50. What is your go-to food in that situation? And drink. Yep, food and drink.
So usually, being a professional cyclist, you don't have that much money, so you look for the cheapest options, which tends to be the canned Coca-Cola over the, actually, biggest hack is go for the fountain drink, because usually you can get 40 ounces of sugar or Mountain Dew or Coca-Cola, whatever, for like $1. So I'll go for a fountain drink, and then I'll look at either some like chewy snacks like Sour Patch Kids, or Little Debbie's products are pretty good. Okay. Those can get stuffed into a jersey. Very calorie dense, cheap. Or if they have like bakery items, which usually a small town doesn't, but I'll go for that. Or if it's really hot, I'm going for their ice cream. We'll go straight. Okay. Yeah, ice cream. I don't know. Usually I'm not biking through small towns, so okay. The smallest town we have is Houston that I'll bike through. I stop at that BP sometimes. I get a 1919 root beer, okay, and then an ice cream sandwich.
Oh, sorry to chop you there.
Oh no, that's okay.
The new bike shop in Houston has some goodies in it too.
Yeah?
Yep.
I may have to stop going to the gas station and support the local
yep.
bike shop instead of, you know, BP.
That truck knows what I'm coming for.
Oh yeah. We can just go over. Since it's breakfast, we're not doing the Mega Buddy, we're doing the Best Buddy. See, we start out, no ice, because that's a waste of money.
Yep, of course.
About half lemonade, and then they have this citrusy strawberry Mountain Dew.
It's filthy.
And then you get, I did the colors backwards. Normally I'm supposed to go red, then yellow. But yeah, there's usually a nice fade to it. So that's my drink, and then I gotta find the 6-pack of Glazers. Not right. Yeah, usually it's a 52-ounce Mega Buddy, and then I split it with a friend.
That's incredible.
And it's like $2,
yeah.
So it's like, do we each get a bottle of Coke, or do we get, you know, we can take sips and then pour it into, yeah, just some good old red 40.
It all burns off when you're doing this.
Yeah.
So when did you start hanging these at your races? Were they always a part of your races?
So they were a part of the hot dish. The first year I did it, so it was when I was trying to get Kwik Trip as a sponsor. So these are called Glazers, Kwik Trip Glazers, and I created Glazer Golly. So it was, yeah, hung them up from trees, because you can do bacon, but I thought Glazers would be a little different, and I think they're better than Krispy Kreme donuts. So they're really good if you throw them in a microwave.
Yep. If you pick these up on a road trip, riding solo, they can dangerously disappear quickly.
Oh yeah.
And you realize you just ate 6 donuts.
After extensive research, maximum is 2 that can be consumed before gut issues start occurring.
Yep.
Or gut aches, I should say.
Also true.
Yeah, these are
just like pure sugar, lard, flour.
Yeah.
Probably some water.
And they're local. I guess people don't know that. So Kwik Trip is local to the Driftless region They're out of La Crosse. If you bike past the factory, it literally smells like Glazer donuts.
Have you ever worked at a Kwik Trip?
No, I almost did last fall. I was like, I may need to earn some extra income. And the Kwik Trip's right across the street from my house. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could just walk there.
Yeah. We rode to one further away today for this ride, but there's one literally like you can throw a rock and hit it from your house.
Yeah, you can see it from my window.
How often is it windy down here?
So on top of the bluffs, it's just like, well, I like to think it's as windy as central Minnesota, which is 20-mile-per-hour winds all the time.
Yeah.
It's probably a little less than that, but it's windier up on top of the bluffs on the ridges. So then usually I'll create a route where I'll stay in the valley for a headwind, and then for the tailwind climb up and hit the tailwind on top. So it's pretty easy to hide from the winds, honestly. Sometimes you can get screwed and the wind will funnel into a valley and it's like it increases almost.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's pretty good if you do route planning. I would say most people say they'll have a headwind both ways when they bike, but I've had a lot of rides here where I get tailwinds for the whole 60-mile route.
That's crazy.
Oh, part of me wants to try a third donut, but
If you want to watch the full interview, you can click on that right here, or you can watch whatever YouTube thinks you'll like best from my channel right here.